Hey, how's it going, guys? Coltabush here, and welcome to Battlefield 4 running on the GTX 960. Now, I wanted to do multiplayer footage, but I couldn't get the multiplayer to work. The Battlefield 4, the browser, little web plugin, wasn't working for me, so I'm working on getting the multiplayer to work. But for now, here's some single-player footage. This is a different format. I want to talk while I shoot the video, so I can give my direct input as I'm playing the game. Let's just go into the options right now. Here's the video settings, 1080p, and very close to being maxed out, not quite there. Ultra on everything, anti-aliasing deferred is 2x MSAA, anti-aliasing post is medium, ambient occlusion is off. These settings I felt gave us the best performance in the single player campaign, so I would check out playing the game at these settings. You can tweak them if you want higher frame rate. Maybe you're okay with playing at a lower frame rate, but you want to max the game fully out or play at a higher resolution, what have you. But these settings work fairly well, as you guys are going to see. So with that being said, let's dive right into Battlefield 4 and check out how this game runs on the GTX 960. Alright, so this is Baku in Battlefield 4. This is the first mission, but as you guys can see, the visuals are pretty stunning in this mission. There's a lot of set pieces, and the frame rate is in the top right corner, so you guys can follow with that. I'll obviously throw out my input as I play, and my apologies for my loud keyboard. I have a Black Widow, and yeah, it's a pretty loud keyboard, but I hope you guys can make do with the noise. But yeah, so let's see how this goes. Let me go back and get some ammo. That'd be a good call. Okay, so there's a grenade. Let's see. And the frame rate's still held up at around, 60. So we could probably, honestly, for the campaign, we could probably crank the settings up a little bit. But for multiplayer, you're probably going to want to play it around these settings. Multiplayer always is more taxing on a machine than single player. At least, 90% of the time. So this is working pretty well. And if you guys want to see the settings, it was at the beginning of the video, so... Yeah, around 70-ish, which is really playable. Very smooth. Okay, see, we dip sometimes to 50, 55, and if you want a solid 60, you're probably going to even want to lower the settings a tad for multiplayer, especially because all the set pieces in the multiplayer, it becomes a struggle. And we'll find out exactly once I have a chance to test the multiplayer. Like I said, it was a little wonky today, so... as soon as I get it to work, I will do just that. But yeah, definitely playable. This is very good for a $200 GPU. Not quite maxed out, but for $200, you really should be expecting to max out Battlefield 4 at 60 frames per second at 1080p. It's really not, doesn't make a lot of sense. But this is close to max, so definitely pleasing settings and performance.
Okay, give us your targets.
I don't want to throw a C4. Okay, those don't go far at all. But there you go. There's an explosion. That always makes your GPU work. And yeah, there we go. There's a dip. There's definitely a dip. That's why we call this a $200 GPU, a mid-range GPU. Right there is exactly the reason why we call these mid-range graphics cards. Because, yeah, 27, 28, some people just can't deal with that. Let's try, yeah, once again. These big explosions are very taxing on a machine. But, it held up pretty well. It only went down to 29, which, to be frankly honest, is very good for a $200 GPU with these big-ass explosions. Yeah, right there. and still held up pretty well. That one was a really, you know, giant set piece with the whole, little thing coming down, all of that coming down. So that's a little, you know, taxing on a $200 GPU, but for the most part, you guys can see it's working pretty well.
Okay, give us your targets.
Alright, and with that stab, I think you guys are getting the gist of what this GPU can do in the single-player mode. Like I said, I will try to make a video on the multiplayer, and let me just get to a spot so I can live. I will try to make a video on the multiplayer. I'm going to try to get that to work. The little thing Origin and Battlefield 4 make you use to launch the multiplayer, that was acting up on me, so I'm trying to get that to work. If I can, I'll have direct multiplayer footage, but yeah, the 960 in the single player worked pretty well. There was a couple little times where, yeah, it did dip below 30, which is definitely not the best, but what can you do? It's a $200 GPU, and for that price, it performs pretty well. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to y'all later. Let me know if you guys like this format. I'm always, you know, trying to shake things up, so let me know in the comments down below. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.